channel. This is Isaac, simple and real. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, kindly do so now. Subscribe, like, and share. This is the channel where we usually talk about the issues of averting HIV stigma in our society, and we usually say that being positive about HIV is not necessarily being HIV positive. And also, we say that the problem is not having a sexually transmitted infection. The problem is having a sexually transmitted infection and failing to seek the necessary healthcare services that are available at the right time, because this can lead to dire consequences on your health. This is where we talk about empowering ourselves, about our health, and being responsible of our own health. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. This is Isaac, simple and real. Thank you. In our topic today, we'll be discussing about human papillomavirus infection. Basically, human papillomavirus is a DNA non-enveloped virus from the family of Papillomaviridae, and it has several subtypes. But in our discussion today, we'll be focusing more on subtype 6, subtype 11, subtype 16, and subtype 18. Thank you. Now, someone may ask, how is HPV spread? Basically, HPV is usually spread via sexual contact. If you have sex or unprotected sexual intercourse with someone who is suffering or who is harboring human papillomavirus, you'll acquire the infection. This is either by oral sex, anal sex, or vaginal sex, and also via skin contact. Now, what are the health repercussions of someone who is harboring human papillomavirus? The presence of human papillomavirus, especially subtype 6 and subtype 11, causes genital warts. What are genital warts? Genital warts, these are a group of bumps. Basically, they are a bit raised. They may be small, but others may be large. They're usually pinkish in color with a cauliflower appearance. Someone may also ask, does the human papillomavirus that you're talking about, the one that causes cervical cancer? Of course, yes. But in this case, we have subtype 16 and 18, which are responsible for cervical cancer. They are also responsible for vaginal and vulval carcinomas. So this makes this kind of virus our very important, and which we must not take it lightly. Now, how do we avoid human papillomavirus infection? For our young girls who are between 9 years and 15 years, we have a human papillomavirus vaccine in all government healthcare facilities in our country, Kenya. And therefore, if you're having your daughter who is between 9 years and 15 years, all through up to 25 years, you can, or those who have not yet initiated the sexual debut, or they have not yet become sexually active, because once you start becoming sexually active, the chances of you having had an exposure to human papillomavirus increases. And that's why the focus is made, especially by our government, for girls who are between 9 years and 15 years. So these ones are eligible for human papillomavirus vaccine, and this will lower the chances of your daughter acquiring the complication of human papillomavirus, that is subtype 6, subtype 11, subtype 16, and subtype 18, which are responsible for genital warts and cervical cancer, and other genital cancers, including vaginal and vulval carcinomas. Thank you. Now, the other thing about prevention of of human papillomavirus infection is routine screening. For young mothers or girls who are between the age of 25 years and above, or let's start with between 25 years and 49 years, we usually have a routine check. For those who are living with HIV infection, the routine check is usually via acetic acid or via Lugos iodine. We just do the cervical cancer screening using Lugos iodine or using acetic acid. And this is usually diagnostic and it is treatable at its early stage. When a lesion is noted using these techniques of checking for cervical cancer, a treatment is usually done. It can be done via cryotherapy or via thermal ablation. And this is usually treatable and curable. Also, for those who are above 49 years in their postmenopausal age, women, a screening for cervical cancer is also done, but in this case, we usually do via pap smear technique. This one is a cytology technique which also can be able to make a diagnosis of cervical cancer at its early age, and a treatment can be initiated early. Remember, it is very much important to note that when you have a cervical cancer diagnosed between stage 0 and stage 2A, it can be treated and cured. For stage 0, it's usually treated via thermoablation or via chemotherapy. Stage 1 to stage 2A can be done surgically and curage achieved. However, for stage 2B, going forward to stage 4, the management becomes a bit difficult, and that's why early diagnosis for cervical cancer is paramount. Therefore, if you are being diagnosed early, it becomes very important because we can be able to achieve curage of the cervical cancer. And that is why we emphasized more on having a cervical cancer screening every year for the persons who are living with HIV infection, and biannually for those who are HIV negative. Are we together up to that point? Thank you. Let us go for diagnosis of human papillomavirus. Basically, in our country, Kenya, there has not arose any rapid diagnostic modalities for detecting human papillomavirus. Therefore, a diagnosis of human papillomavirus in your body may not be confirmed in any healthcare facility in our country. However, that does not say that the risk has gone. Not having a rapid diagnostic kit, it tells us that we need to be more keen, because the complication is the only thing that will tell you that you ever had an encounter with someone who was suffering from human papillomavirus. Let's talk about another thing. Can human papillomavirus affect the unborn child? My answer is no. At this time, there has been no any kind of studies that can show that someone who is suffering from human papillomavirus can transmit the same to the unborn child. However, being pregnant does not remove you from the risk of acquiring the complication that come from the subtype 6 and 11, that is genital warts, and complications that are caused by subtype 16 and 18, that is cervical cancer. Therefore, immediately after delivery, it's advisable for you to visit healthcare facility and continue with your routine cervical cancer screening to avoid this kind of risks. Thank you. As we had said earlier, our prevention modalities, that is vaccination for those who are between 9 years and 15 years, this is available in our country. The other thing we have said concerning prevention is routine screening to avoid complications that are brought about by subtype 6 and subtype 11, that is genital herpes, subtype 16 and subtype 18, that is cervical cancer. The other thing that we have talked about is use of condom. The use of condom will lower the chances of you acquiring cervical cancer during sexual intercourse, especially for those who usually have sex with multiple sexual partners. The other thing we have talked about prevention is about risk reduction. That is, for those who are having multiple sexual partners, to reduce the number of sexual partners so that you can be able to reduce the chances of you getting this kind of subtypes, that is subtype 6 and 11, that will lead you getting genital herpes, and subtype 16 and 18, which will lead you getting cervical cancer. Thank you. This comes to the end of our topic discussion today. This is Isaac, Simple and Real. Kindly do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share. Let more people be able to learn more about this channel so that we can be able to impact our society. We can be able to help our Kenyan people, other persons in other countries, to be able to be responsible about their own health. Together, we can be able to avert HIV stigma in our society. Together, we can be able to avert STI stigma in our society. Thank you and God bless you. Bye bye.